Welcome back to What Would It Cost? Thank you for the constant love and support. Be sure to like, follow, share, and hit that subscribe button down below.
And big shout out to our sponsor at PZA, Dre and Bruno. They got an awesome establishment there. Everything from their pizzas to their pastas to their burger, which is really good. That just got added to the menu last year. They do a fantastic job with, and even the ambiance inside. They got cool art activations done by the local artist Anthony Riccardi, and their place just rocks all across the board. So go check them out. They're at 7 and Weston Road, and shout out Dre and Bruno.
What is it going to cost?
How much? Hi, my name's Nicholas Regina.
My name's Michael Sakuro.
And you're listening to
What Would It Cost?
Is that good?
On today's episode, we'll be talking with the youngest RE/MAX broker owner in the world, Ron Sally.
What's up, gentlemen? I'm excited, man. It's going to be awesome. Let's do this.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming out. We know you're a busy guy, and we appreciate you coming here and talking about your business and giving us some insight behind the scenes.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity, and it's an honor for me.
Yeah.
So,
and also our first broker of record.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
to get right into it, tell us a bit about your background getting into real estate and how that's taking you from those stepping stones to where you are now.
Yeah, I mean, just coming back to the introduction, the youngest broker in the world, it sounds a bit daunting. I never really actually wanted to be in real estate. It's sort of, I wanted to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
And that's sort of, I said, you know what, I want to be a person that will always give value. I want to do some big things. I want to handle big cases, and you want to do all of that. So I was studying to be a lawyer, and then later on I realized to be a great lawyer, you got to be a great salesperson.
Yeah.
Because you're selling. But then what you realize later down the road is you got to be behind a desk all day long. So around 19, I because of my father, who happens to be my partner now at my RE/MAX brokerage, because of him, I got into the real estate industry. So I got my license at 19. I had my mortgage license actually at around 18.
Oh, wow.
I didn't like it one bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, it's the whole task of sitting behind a desk and going through files all day long, and especially when you're a young individual, you're like, you're trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
You can't be stuck behind a desk all day long. So 19, I got my real estate license, and then from there on out, I kept working at it. The first year was brutal. It was sort of figuring things out. You're running around. You're going left, right, center, driving all around the province, showing properties, and and then so what starts to happen is you got to channel your energy, and you're going to channel your vision of the type of agent that you want to become. So from there on, I finally started figuring out, what is my value proposition? What do I really bring to the table? Because competition will always exist, has always existed, and will continue to be there. But there's a way to get above that, and that is, what can you bring to the table? So what can you start doing that nobody else is doing? So what I started to do is I started educating myself on a very high level. I started looking at investment properties. I started looking at pre-construction. I started looking at home developments. I started looking at rental properties. I started getting my designations in so many different fields, from buyer representation expert and seller representation designation. I started looking at what it's like working with a little bit of the senior folks. So I started dabbling into all these courses. I would sit in the Mike Ferry courses. I would sit in the Richard Robbins course. I invested so much money to educate, and learn the lingo to understand what was going on. And then I started finding success, and I understood the systems that I really needed to put into play. But I had to learn quick, and I had to learn fast, because time doesn't wait for anybody. That's what I believe, right? Time doesn't wait for anybody.
Good line. Yeah.
And just because you're a new agent, it doesn't make a difference to the buyer or the seller. Because guess what? They don't care whether you're new or whether you're experienced. You got a job to perform. Right. So you can't just say, "Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. I'm brand new." No, you're that expert that's sort of handling that deal, that transaction. So around 2021, things started taking off for me, and I did tons of transactions. I did over 100 plus transactions.
Wow. 2021?
No, not 2021. This is when I started. I'm 29 now, so I started around 10 years ago, which is around 2012, 2011, 2012. Okay. That's sort of towards the end of that time. So 2013, 2014, that's when things started taking off.
Yeah.
And from there on, I flipped.
So you really hit the ground running.
Yeah,
like
and
100 transactions in your first year.
Not the first year; it was the second year. The first year was sort of the learning ground, right? You're sort of figuring things out. You're channeling your energy in, and when you start off, you're not as confident.
Yeah, of course.
You're like, do you really have what it is? Because you're really in an environment, an industry where you sort of have to figure things out.
Yeah.
Now, I had a great representation right in front of me, which happened to be my father, who's now my partner. Now, his style of working was so unique. It was so wonderfully that he did such an amazing job that I couldn't replicate it.
Right.
You know, it was so unique to his own style where I was like, you know what, I have to, you know, I can't keep working off the things that he has because it's for the long haul, I'm not going to be excited about it. I'm not going to be happy about it.
Right.
So I have to create my own identity and I have to create my own on way of doing things.
Yeah.
So I started really doing videos at the time where nobody really hardly did. You have the one-off people that started doing videos. I started meeting with developers. I used to lie about my age all the time because, you know, nobody ever really wants to work with a young individual. But later on, you realize now that it's so easy to provide value because people actually benefit off working with young individuals.
Right.
So, so during that time frame, I took off and then I started flipping properties. I bought a lot of homes, started renovating them. I got a chance to also build a custom home as well. I made some great investments in certain properties. You know, the financially was doing great. And then now it says, okay, great. I learned a lot of this. I learned a lot of the real estate aspects of what I'm supposed to be doing. What's the next big step? What do I really want? What do I really enjoy? And just like we're sitting in a podcast here talking about growth, we're talking about development, we're talking about value, talking about really putting things on the table, what can I do or what can I be a part of that also is in line with the educational aspect of bringing value to agents and other people all around you, and not just that, wealth through real estate.
Awesome.
Right? That's a great part about being an agent. Where else can you're in control of your own destiny when you're in the sales industry.
Yeah.
Your income is untapped. It depends on how hard you want to work and how much time you really want to put in, even though you realize you're always putting in more time than ever.
Yeah.
The other big thing about it is the freedom. And that freedom is that I have the power to really create something on my own, and it's really up to me. If it's to be, it's up to me.
Yeah.
And the other great thing is the ability to really put those seeds in place where down the road you can, you know, you can harvest them. So I started looking around at offices and different brokerages. I said, you know what, I've kind of reached the cap where I am at an office. And we're going to come back to that later, because at my office, I want to make sure that never happens where nobody can really ever achieve, because you as an office always have to be innovating as well, right? So when I started looking at different offices, I said, okay, let me go in a different place to maybe get a different atmosphere, because I've capped that where I am now.
Yeah.
So I started looking around. I put down a list of what I really wanted. I wanted culture. I wanted environment. I wanted to be friends with the broker. I wanted events. I wanted to get together. What I wanted was I wanted to have fun in the place that I was to be. So it actually encourages you to work a lot harder. So I looked around, so I couldn't find the ones that I really wanted. And if I did find the one, they would always lack the 3-4 other things that I also had. Right. So you always find that one thing that you like, but you lack the 3 other things. And you find another office that has those 2-3 things, but they lack the other 4 things that you were looking at. So I said, what's a space where anything and everything you need is all there? If it doesn't exist, you create it.
Right.
And that's where Remax Millennium was born. And when I went out and I said, okay, you know what? Now I've decided I want to open up an office. So I talked to my partner, Sunil. He says, nope, not a good idea. Okay. And I said, no, we're going to do this. Either you're with me or I'm going to go in, I'm going to figure it out on my own. Yeah. And then long story short, because, you know, him and I are we're like a strong bond. You know, we discuss everything. We go over everything. He's plays an integral role in my life. Yeah. Not from just a fatherly level, but from a friend level, from a partnership level, from, you know, on beyond a lot of great things. And I can confidently say not a lot of people have that kind of relationship with their father the way that I have with mine. So he was understanding about it, and we said, okay, you know what? Let's do this. Let's freaking go out and do it. But we're going to do it right, and we're going to figure out. So what did we do? We brought on the #1 brand in the world, which is Remax. We took that on, and it wasn't, now when you would take on the #1 brand, so I went to visit all the other top offices. I went to the Royal LePage, I went to the Century 21. I said, let me see what, from a brand standpoint or from a brokerage standpoint, we understand that from an agent gets from an office, but I said, let's see from a brand standpoint, a brokerage standpoint, what do you really get?
Right.
So long story short, I had a great time with Remax. The service, the experience, the people that I met, and now who's going to give a 25-year-old kid the #1 brand in the world and say, here you go, run an office? So I really had to prove myself, and I really had to say why I deserve to have a franchise of the #1 brand in the world, which is Remax. So long story short, had a bunch of meetings, went through some qualifications. I put together a whole business plan, and I sent it over to Remax. They're like, you know what? we haven't received a business plan in like so many years of somebody, and I had a whole plan of action, how many agents I plan to hire, how many agents growth, what are my split packages, what are my fees, I've put everything together. What's my, so you put together in a business plan.
So you had that all prepped and built in already. You knew what your next move was when you were at 100 agents.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, like Mike Tyson once says, everybody has a plan till they get punched in the face.
Yeah.
So first year of having the space, I'm figuring things out. I'm like, what the heck is going on? You have the whole business plan in hand, and that business, nothing is going according to the way that you wanted it.
Right.
Nobody wanted to be part of my office. Okay, I didn't have a space built out, and I started with around 4 people, including myself. It was me, my father, my mother, and my father's friend.
Hard for any of those people to say no to you.
Okay, that was it. 4 people that we started off. And so during those times, we had so staff, and we'd all operate from the upper level of the floor because my unit is built out into two levels. So the lower level hadn't been constructed yet. We were, still applying for certain things. Funny enough, I was trying to figure things out. I was like, man, because you're just trying to get things rolling. And long story short, it took a little bit of time, but once I caught the rhythm, and I figured out, and I started having meetings and meetings and meetings. So what I would do during that time frame is I would start saying, so you know what's lacking in most offices? Training. So I started with training. And you know what I did? I was doing a training every day. I said, we're the only broker that provides training 5 days a week. That was so you got to set yourself apart.
Yeah,
so every day I would do training. Now I don't have that many agents. Now I still got a couple of agents. I got 3 more agents, not 4 more agents. And I have a team of 7 agents. I'm a brokerage owner. I have 7 people in my office, and I would be doing training sessions for those 2 agents or that 1 agent. And most of the time we'd be sitting in a boardroom as just one person. I said, you know what? I kind of like this. We're one-on-one. This is actually more meaningful. Forget who needs more people. You gotta spin it a little bit differently.
Spin it for them.
So Sunil comes up to me, and my partner, and he says, really, do you really need to do training 5 times 5 times a week? I said, listen, this is just practice. This is practice for when we actually have 50, 60, 75, 80 people in a room, and any question that they can possibly ask me, I can get through it right now with that one-on-one. So if I don't know something and I can mess up on, it's probably in a room where it's 1-to-1, but when I'm across 70 to 80 people, I can't make a mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So that was all practice. From there on, we came out with our in-house marketing department. We launched that, then we started launching our own tech, partnered up with a law firm, created an in-house legal division that was there as well to provide support. Then we took care of all the back-end admin support from agents. Our marketing was really a big one, and pre-construction was a really big one as well because of my relationships with a lot of builders and developers. So we were able to bring exclusive access to projects and developments. So now our pre-construction access in our office is really provides ancillary revenue to a lot of agents. So think about it this way: you have an agent, you do, let's say you do $200,000 a year on residential sales. Good amount of earnings per year. I mean, with today's market, especially with the cost and of homes that have gone up, 200 to 250 it should be a norm. Like you should be making that, right? Back in the day, you should be, okay, I want to make 100K, right? Everybody says, I want to make 100K. Unfortunately, and as sad as to say, it's not enough. After taxes, after deductions, after everything, it's not much. So your goal for doing transactions, and if you break down 100 transactions, you do 4 transactions a year, right? That's majority of the agents doing 0 to 4 transactions. 1 to 4 transactions a year. That's really where majority of people fall into play. You don't want to do that. You want to be doing 15 to 20 plus transactions comfortably every single year. Or your transaction volume is so large where you're doing a heavy commercial, properties and projects where you do that one big property and it gives you a huge chunk of return, but they take a little bit longer. So anyways, coming back to the story, our pre-construction provided really great ancillary revenue. So somebody that's making 200K a year, now all of a sudden through our pre-construction platinum access can add on an additional $150,000 to $250,000.
Yeah.
Because of projects they couldn't get access to, maybe information they didn't have, because of the lack of information that their projects are all scattered. We really streamlined the process that's there. So we were able to do that. We're the only RE/MAX brokerage in the GTA that provides free marketing resources for all our agents. Free. It's included in your package. And he just listed and he just sold social media 3 to 5 times a week. You get social media flyers, content that is provided to you, videos. We also really invest a lot in our agents, and what that means is we do events. Like recently we did a pre-construction bus tour. I got a coach bus, we loaded about 55 agents on that coach bus, and we took them all around the city showing them pre-construction projects. Last year we were the first RE/MAX brokerage to do pre-construction sales events at hotels back to back. We did around like 5 pre-construction sales events back to back. We booked at the hotels, and you can imagine the cost that sort of goes into this, but we provide that opportunity. So if you were agents in my office, you can say it's your sales event. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Nick and Mike with Remax Million Real Estate. I'd like to personally invite you to my pre-construction sales event taking place at so-and-so. Come join me today. And we had a area of projects. I called all my developer friends to come and sit down and set up booths over there at the space. So when you bring in your clients, you can guarantee sell right on the spot.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Very cool.
So really, it's and the reason why I share this with you is the most important thing is it's all about value proposition. And the value proposition is what makes you different. What do you bring to the table, and what problem are you really trying to solve? So if I was an agent starting off my journey, or if I was already an agent, maybe I want to really scale my operations. Number one, your level of motivation has to be super high. You got to have a burning desire. You got to know exactly why you're doing what you're doing and why do you want to succeed, right? It's that burning desire. Why is it can't be the money, because it's never the money. It really has to be a bit more. Is it legacy? Is it branding? Is it that you want to provide, you want to give back to society? Is it that you're working towards to make money so you can contribute to a charitable organization? What's your why? Why do you really want to succeed? Or maybe I just really like nice things and I want to have luxury assets, or I want to build a life where I can retire down the road.
Right.
Why are you doing what you're doing? That burning desire has to be very, very important. For me, that was a legacy that I wanted to have, and B, it says, okay, what's the next big chapter of your life? So after selling and after learning, and you're saying, okay, look, I've hit a huge number of sales, I can keep doing this, or I can build out a team, or I can do it on a much larger scale, which is running an office.
Right. And
things took off for us, and last year we were worldwide award winners for Remax, for the largest net gain, and we also won Canada-wide. The year before that, we won Canada-wide. The year before that, I won Rookie of the Year for Remax. So right now, from my understanding, it happens to, I happen to be the youngest Remax broker in the world. Based off that, but I don't look at it like that. I really look at that, yeah, sure, I may be young in age, but I'm way behind that gentleman that has 1,000 agents or 1,500 agents who's been running for 30 years.
Right.
That's really who I'm looking at, saying, okay, how can I get to that much faster than he got to where he is? Right?
No, absolutely.
And that's what I think about every single day. But before I even think about that, I say, what can I do to help an agent that is doing X amount of transactions? How can I increase their bottom line? And B, how can I create a balance in their life which they're not able to create themselves?
Right.
So we've launched an app. Our app is phenomenal. I can easily say that I've looked at some of the other brands' apps and nothing can compare to what we've launched. Okay? Everything and anything you need right at your fingertips. We have back-end agent portal. Any scripts, any videos, any media. We have 400 plus educational videos exclusive that we have that anybody can watch at any point in time. We created like a Netflix-like experience for our videos, okay? All your marketing, all your flyers, everything is right in your app. You can easily access. If you want an offer made, you're on the go, you're showing properties, access your app, right away, put a request into the office. Within 30 minutes, we'll have an offer ready for you.
It's awesome.
Very nice.
Okay?
That's really awesome.
Now, what I'm working on now...
And that's exclusive to your brokers?
That's exclusive to Remax Millennium Real Estate. That's exclusive to our office.
Yeah.
And the reason why I share this, and even our split package, right, which we'll get to in terms of what it would cost. Now, generally speaking, most offices do what? Hey, you're a brand new agent. You're at a 80-20. You're at a 70-30. Hey, you did X amount of deals. You've been experienced. You know what? You get an 85-15, or you get a 90-10. We have one package in the whole office. Whether you make $1 million, whether you're a brand new agent, everybody's on the same package. Okay?
Wow.
So it's like, and this idea came from Amazon Prime membership, right?
Right.
Prime membership, you get music, you get
one price fits all.
One price fits all. Okay, whether you like it or not. Sorry, there's no negotiation. Boom.
Wow.
It's that one price that is there.
Yeah.
And it's competitive at the same time. It's not super expensive. It's not super cheap. It's right there where the value is.
Right.
And so many people have told me, I said, Ron, you know what? The price point is incredibly well. I said, maybe I should raise the prices then, 100% all the way. And they go, no, it's perfect where it is. So what it does is it builds longevity, right? So that way, agents stay longer a little bit because they know that this is a great package. Not only that, the value and the services are there as well. So what I started looking at is, what can you do not only to retain agents, when you're hiring agents, what can you do to retain agents?
Sure.
Right.
from a brokerage owner standpoint. And the other big thing that you look at is how can I create super agents in the marketplace? And these are the agents that when they go up against the competitor, they're the ones that take home the listing. They're the ones that win the offer presentation over their competitors. They're better trained, and that's really what we focus on building and developing. So now the systems that we keep refining, right? We keep refining. We keep making it better. We keep making it better as we're scaling.
Right.
Yeah.
So when it starts off niche with like 25 agents, you're able to do a lot more. Then you jump to 50. Okay, cool. Now we got to add on a couple of other services. Now when you add on a couple more people, you add on. So my staff is at an all-time like maximum high. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's insane the amount of payroll that we run in our office, especially with our coders, our developers, our websites. I have people exclusively that are building out tech within the office. We're working on our CRM. We're going to be launching our own CRM exclusively to our office. We're launching our own lead gen programs exclusively to our office. So whenever an agent comes and says, hey, do you guys provide this? Do you guys provide that? We're one office that fits everything.
Yeah.
We're a one-stop shop for all your services.
Yeah. Right.
And we have a la carte services. So let's say, for example, you had a listing coming up and you're like, man, I need to get my flyer made. I need to get my landing page made. I need to get my feature sheet made. I need to put everything, I need to get everything going. What do I do? Now, all of a sudden, you as an agent have to make a call to your printing guy. You have to make a call to your designing guy. You have to make a call to your website guy. And at the same time, you have to manage and get the whole property ready to go. Let me solve this problem for you.
Right.
So what do? Through our Millennium Media, through our a la carte services, right away you go on our app, order the service, boom, we'll have it ready for you.
Right.
In a quick turnaround time.
Wow. Very cool.
You want staging services? Here you go. Here's 4 stagers ready to go for you. You need painting? Here's 4 painters that we recommend. You want electrician? Here's 4 or 5 electricians that we vetted that you need. Okay, Ron, can I shadow somebody? Can I mentor somebody? No problem. We've taken some of the top agents in our office and we said, hey, listen, would you like to mentor some of the agents that would require help? They said, well, it takes a lot of the time. Well, what could we do to really make it that you would mentor them? Where you get a piece of the pie.
Right.
Now, what does anybody say? Listen, I just want mentorship. It's not about the money. You can charge whatever you want to charge. Now, me as a broker of record, I can mentor you all you want, but if you want to go out and show properties and doing that, I'm not showing properties. I can't take you to. I'm not a team leader where I have a bunch of team members and I'm doing that. My role is a little bit different. My role is to make sure the engine is running so smoothly that you can operate your business. Beautiful. We're a platform for you to build your business on. That's what we are. I can't do sales for you. You got to do that yourself.
Yeah.
But what we can do is we can do everything else that allows you to do a lot more sales.
So the mentor-mentee program has the mentor being incentivized through a piece of the action on what the mentee goes out there and sells. So it's in his best interest to do as good as a job training this individual because he's going to eat what he kills and he's also going to eat a little piece of it.
And the best thing is we've given flexibility, and that flexibility is it could be just for one deal.
Right.
Right.
Ron, I'm getting a listing. It's a very big listing. I'm scared. I don't know. Even though they have everything it takes, it's that doubt and fear. No problem. Let's connect you with our top listing agent, okay, which is part of the mentor program. Give them a call, let them know, and if they have to come out with you, discuss with them what is worth their time and what is worth your time if you see the value in them, and they can discuss. And after they discuss, they send a message to our deals administration department, so we know how to adjust it accordingly, and they both sign off on it.
That's awesome.
So we've created an organized structure.
Yeah.
So now what this does is
teams within a team.
So now what we've done is when you have that structure, you have a team, but you don't really have the team. You don't have the headache of managing a team. But at the same time, it creates ancillary revenue for a top agent. So let's say you happen to be an agent who has 15, 20 years of experience. You're seasoned. Now you make consistently what you make. You have no aspirations to make above that, and you have no aspirations to make below that.
Right.
You're making your 300, 400, 500, and you're like, you know what? I'm happy with it. I don't want to scale it. I don't want it to go down. I need that consistency. And there's a lot of agents that have very experienced. I know when you listen to what they speak, but they're consistent. But there's no aspiration or ambition to let's do 200 more next year. Let's do that, right? Only select group of individuals that have it. Some of these mentees are like that.
Yeah.
And you ask them about any kind of transaction from commercial to this to that, they have that experience because they've done it already in their tenure of 15 to 20 years that they've been in the business. So now that newer agent gets and the great thing is that when we attract a top tier agent and talent, like I recently hired an agent who does around $650,000 to $700,000 a year.
Yeah.
Okay. And one of the things he says, I love this. He goes, my office never had this. He was the top fish in his office, and he was, and he says, we never had that ancillary program where I can actually add to my revenue. revenue. So I told the top agent, I said, look, through these services, through our pre-construction, because you're only a residential agent, and through our mentorship program, I've already added $250,000 to your bottom line.
Right.
So they're not looking and putting a microscope on your split. They're saying, look how much added value they're giving to our top line revenue based on in regards to attaching components like the mentor-mentee program or pre-con direct relationships with developers and builders that are able to give them access to stuff that they wouldn't have access to. So you're adding to their top line revenue. So again, they're not putting the microscope on that split. That's brilliant.
Now as we keep scaling and we keep saying, okay, what could we do a little bit better? Because that's what I think to myself all the time. I said, what could we do better?
Right.
Things are just too smooth. What could we do better?
Yeah.
I panic when things are going too smooth.
Yeah.
You know, I get a little nervous. You too, right?
When you get in that punch.
Pardon?
When you get that punch.
Things are too good.
Yeah.
Something's about to happen. Where's the storm? Where's it coming? You know, it's too smooth right now.
So true, bro.
So
true.
So now when let's say you two are, individuals who say, Ron, look, we're good at selling, we're good at this. I freaking hate the paperwork. I don't want to do any of the paperwork. I don't want to look at paperwork. I don't want to touch it. I just want to go out, get the client and get somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to train anybody. I don't want to assist in because you got to go through that hassle. We'll take care of it for you. No problem.
Right.
Okay. We'll solve that issue for you. So now what we've started to do is through our administration support, through a certain a la carte service, we have solved a problem for you at a very reasonable cost that is benefit for both parties, where we take that problem off your plate and you focus on what? Selling. And maybe you have children, maybe you don't have children, maybe you want to spend time with your spouse, maybe you want to spend time with your parents. When we're young, we don't think about these things because they're like, we're going to hustle. But I work with couples. I work with a little bit seasoned individuals who are past 58, 59, and their goals are different from the 24, 25-year-old that is entering the industry who has no wife, no girlfriend, no kids, no nothing, says, I'm ready to give it as much time as I want. They don't have that kind of time anymore. You understand? So their time is a little bit distant. Now the couple, they have kids. Somebody has to take them to school. How do they arrange their time? So I sit with them. And even when I'm mentoring or I'm coaching some of these agents and I say, listen, your spouse is not in the business, but when you come and have a meeting with me, I want you to bring your spouse.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay? And they said, why? I said, trust me, you'll know exactly why. Especially if it's a lady, especially if it's a man, because I got to get the spouse on board to facilitate the goals of either the man or the woman, because it's going to benefit the whole family simultaneously.
Wow.
And sometimes, look, let's be honest, sometimes the husband has a problem with the wife working too late, and I can see why that would be the challenge, but that understanding has to be there. And same thing with the husband, where the wife is not supportive of the husband, because the husband is out working all the time. So those expectations have to be managed, and those conversations I can't just have with one person. I got to make the other person really understand.
Yeah.
So we do this. So coming back to
in-house therapy.
In-house therapy. Free of cost, included in your package.
Yeah. Let's go deeper there.
So what I'm noticing for myself is I'm noticing where the industry is transforming, where it's always been about people, but now it's a little bit more than that. I think people or agents are not really concerned about the dollar value. I think they're a little bit more concerned about who can they align themselves with, and they want to work towards something a lot greater.
Right.
And that is personal growth.
I agree.
That is business growth,
Yeah,
and that is I have something that I have helped create it. I've had an input, or I've given a piece of something.
I agree. I was doing a talk yesterday at a men's group, and I touched on that point exactly. Was the vision has to be shared by the team, and everyone needs to know that they're working together towards that vision, but they need to be allowed to add on to that vision, right? And be a big part of it. So that fine tuning, the adjusting, the taking out, the adding, and their input is huge, right? It makes it so that everyone's driving that much faster and that much harder towards what the goal is. So it's a great point. I truly believe in that.
Coming back to the whole aspect of being a successful agent, it doesn't really have to be about transactions. It doesn't have to be about the amount of money that you make, because that's really what we base it on. Oh, this gentleman or this woman or this individual got this award, and they have this car and they have that. It's a very smoke in the mirror kind of a situation. And to be a great agent, you have to understand what it takes to be a great salesperson, because you are selling. The first thing you ever sell is yourself. Okay, so as soon as you walk in through a door, your personality, and you sort of have to be a chameleon sometimes, in the sense where you can't just come in brash with your own one way of thinking or mindset. You got to read the room.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to read the room.
It's true.
And if you're in a room and you're bringing your own,
like a bat out
exactly,
of
you know,
hell.
and it works sometimes where you have to, and if that room is one way and you're like, look, this needs a shake up, then you can do the shake up, and you can be that, but you got to do it very strategically. It's an art. It can't be described. It's just, it's like how when we watch Harvey Specter, or when we watch Godfather, or when we watch any kind of the infamous movies that we've seen, is unique personalities.
Right. Yeah.
So that other one is developing your own USP. And you have to have a personality. The other thing that you have to do is your mindset. And everybody speaks about mindset, but really hone in on that mindset. And anybody that's watching this show, take that time for yourself to first get this part right. Adjust the chords accordingly. Make sure that things are wired properly. And if you are feeling down, you're feeling depressed, something is not working, take time and fix it.
Yeah.
We all burn out. You've burnt out. I've burnt out multiple times.
Great point.
So you take a step back and you get things rewired all over again.
Yeah.
So either A, that could be being around positive people such as you gentlemen. B, taking a small vacation if you can, if it's possible. Or C, taking that personal time for yourself to do the things that you really enjoy. Because sometimes it's, when you're really at it, you lose the love of why you started in the first place. And some of the agents that I've spoken to, they said, you know what, sometimes they've done so well, it's like, I don't enjoy it anymore. Why don't you enjoy it anymore? What's sort of lacking? Yeah. Because they've done it the same, because there's no innovation.
Bring that zest, bring that love it.
So
love it.
Keep the blinders on, you're focused on the transaction, focus what you're doing, and you lose sight of what your overall goal was, or your overall purpose.
Enjoying the journey.
Learn the lingo. Learn the lingo from a sales aspect. Learn the lingo, how to communicate, how to ask for those powerful closes when you're sitting across the seller, what you should be saying. And those things sometimes have to be learned. All the actors train before they come up on movie sets. We were talking about golf a little bit earlier, prior to the shooting, and even some of the golf stars, they practice before they actually start playing. Basketball players, they warm up. So everybody's doing their warm up. Why is we agents not doing our warm ups? Right. We should be doing our warm-ups before we begin.
Sure, all top performers,
100%. Yeah, the visualization is also very important. So, I mean, these are all the things that you can throw in there, but really it all starts from why I want to do it, why I want to succeed, what can I do to be successful, what's going to set me apart. Ron, I don't know, there's so much competition. Okay, great, there's competition. What makes you different and what makes you unique? Ron, there's, I keep, everybody says they know another agent and they know somebody else. Well, everybody knows one another. Right? Yeah. Ask any musician, ask any actor, how many people wanted to be in the same industry. Ask any basketball player. Every industry, there's a group of individuals that are part of that industry. And who is going to be the outlier? Either you carve a niche for yourself, or you are that one person for that go-to. And that's a beautiful part about being in real estate. You can be expert in commercial. You can be an expert at any field in pre-construction, residential. You can be an expert in custom-built homes, and that's all you do. I had a gentleman that does only sale of dental practices. And he says, I don't do anything else. I said, what happens when somebody wants to buy a house? He says, I refer that business out. Right. I only do dental clinics and I do dental practices. And he charges around 10% commission per sale. So average dental practice sometimes will go over north of $2 million. So 10% of $2 million, and he's taking it, he's meeting the buyer and the seller, and he's connecting them both.
Beautiful.
And he does 6 of them per year.
He's happy.
He's happy.
You understand? That perfect niche, and you just hone in on it.
And you hone in, and you keep moving that forward. That's a beautiful aspect of it.
Love it.
That's awesome.
I keep going, man.
It sounds like it. Yeah. I mean, listen, in a nutshell, dude, it's been a great inspiration sitting across from you and just listening to you kind of bounce off of your last point and bring yourself into the next area that you wanted to speak on and bless us with your knowledge and our audience. I got a lot from that personally, and that was very, very inspirational. A lot of moving parts with what you got going on, but definitely seems like you got your finger on the pulse and you can handle it, and you got the reins really tight, and love the way you just add value and continue to want to add value for those that, you know, are working with you, right? Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And let everybody know where they could check you and your team out.
Yeah, absolutely. You can follow me on Instagram at Ron Sally, and you can also check out our company website, which is joinremaxmillennium.ca.
That's awesome. Well, thank you again for coming out.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome. I really had a great time.
Yeah, man.
Thanks.
Awesome, bro.
Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. Be sure to like, follow, share, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next week.
Guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It helps us out a lot. And big shout out to our sponsor at PZA, Dre and Bruno. They got an awesome spot, dope pizzas, amazing pasta, sick burger, awesome artwork, activations all over the place done by local artist Anthony Riccardi. They got it all going on in there, man. Check them out. 7 in Weston Road, PZA. Next on What Would It Cost?
In the technology industry, it's very male dominated, especially if you want to be at the very high levels. And I was the chair, my last role was the chairperson of the Global Marketing and Sales Board, lavishly flying around the world, and my kids would come, right?
Yeah.
So it was a challenging time when it's time for them to go to school. So I made the difficult decision to stay home. My kids got older and I thought, you know what, it's time for me to go back into the workforce. How can I leverage my marketing, my sales, my ability to create a business from scratch? How can I do that? And I thought that real estate would be the best suited for me.
My mom is my mentor. She inspires me every day. She's the hardest working person I know. She's so strong. And
anybody have a tissue?